Hey guys, my name is Ismas. Welcome to another Blender live stream, and today we're going to be creating these kitchen knives here. So I guess let's dive in. I hope you guys are doing fine and really having a good time in your lives. Okay, let's have some music here and we get started. I think that's good. Okay, so these are some of these knives we want to create. You can see a set here. We also have here these here. I'm not sure which set to go with. We have this design, which is I think the same as this. There is this. We only see the handle for this, so and I don't think the handle looks that good here. But I like this wooden thing here, the design for this. So let's see. Let's go. Let's start with this. K. Okay, let's extend this a bit so that we have some reference images here. Subdivide this as well, change this to UV, and we can drop some images here. So that. Yeah, like that. And maybe we can rotate this. Let me switch on screencast. Maybe rotate these. Rotate the background 90 degrees. So in the background settings, where is that? Background. Yeah. Negative 90 degrees. So we can start with this front side. Add a plane, rotate it 90 degrees. Now we can just drag these points. Extrude to the tip. I can add a loop here, a loop there, then Control B bevel to add more loops. So we have that. And we can add a loop here, extrude this. I think what we can do, just to follow this knife curve, we can maybe move this loop just to follow that curvature there. And as it gets here, we can subdivide this, connect this to this, like that. And I don't know. Let's see if we just push this there, might this to the end like that. Might this to that. Maybe even. Let's see. can cut using the knife tool, not pun intended, and connect that to that. Remove these doubles, so we have that. Like that. So if you want, we can add a loop there, but we don't need to do that. And we can also add a loop here. Push it down a bit. And should we extrude? Before we extrude, let's subdivide this view. And now we can change this to the front view. Now we can extrude this in the Y direction, like that, and maybe delete these faces and move this around there. Then let's first flip the normals, and let's add the mirror modifier in the Z direction, like that. Turn on clipping. Now, because we have this loop that goes like this, we can select this bottom loop and bring it closer to this one so that we have a sharp edge like that. And maybe move it up a bit along its normals, along its vertices, so that we have a much sharper knife like that. I think I can turn on ambient occlusion here. You even see that kind of sharpness of the knife even without doing that much to the knife. So let's add a subsap modifier. Select this loop here, Ctrl E, give it a bevel weight of 1, then go to modifiers, add a bevel weight, make sure it's above the subsap, and let's change the limit method to weight, so that the bevel uses this what we have set as the bevel thing. Let's also select these loops, this loop here, and this loop here. Also give them a bevel weight, Ctrl E, bevel weight 1. See, we have our sharpness. You can also add another loop around there just to make that even sharper. So if you want, you can just select this push it out a bit so that our knife looks much sharper. Now for the handle, let's make sure to save. I'll save this and a new folder, kitchen knife set. So where is that? Kitchen knife set, kitchen knife set. For the handle, this is quite simple. We can just add a circle, give it maybe 12 vertices, rotate it 90 degrees, rotate 90 degrees, scale it down to the size of our handle. Go to edit mode, extrude. Now we can add a subdivision, flip normals, add a smooth shading. Let's also add smooth shading for this. Let's extrude this and close this loop out, center. Now we can select this ring, Control B to bevel it, and then extrude it along its normals, Alt S. Now to make this sharp, we just need to bevel these loops, Control B. No, not Control B. Control E, bevel weight, give it 1. And we can turn on bevel weight here in the modifiers. Set the limit method to weight and push it above the bevel modifier. We can also add another loop here to make this sharp, something like that. And then we have our handle. Now for this part here, you can also just extrude this. So for this part, how should we do this? Let's examine this. So I think we can just bridge these loops here. So if I turn off these, actually if I select this as a loop and turn off these two, I can bridge. No, I can bridge this with this with that, bridge this with this. Maybe add a loop here, add a loop here. Now before we do that, we can bridge this with this and this with that, and then maybe add a loop here, then also close this out like that. So we can add a loop here so that this is sharper. And now I think we can select this face here and set it around there. Select these, maybe move, extrude there. Should we extrude? Should we? Select these faces. If we move them like that, I think that would work. Let's first turn off subsurf. Select this here, and this, scale them in the Y direction like that. See what we have. So this needs to get smaller and smaller until it reaches the size of the knife. So you can scale this in the Y, extrude around there, scale it in the Y, something like that. Now we just need to merge these two, and let's just do Ctrl J to join these two. Before we do that, let's first delete this side for this handle, because this one has a mirror modifier, and we need it to be applied to this handle as well. Let's first turn off subsurf, then delete those vertices, see what we have, then join this to this, Ctrl J, and let's select this part, move it, so we have our handle like that. So we just need to join these faces or vertices. So we can select all the faces here and delete them. Let's turn off subsurf and maybe turn on flat shading again. We can join this to this last, and merge this here with this last, merge this with this last. So we can add a loop in the middle here. Let's see how it's going. Not bad. So we can just connect that to that. Now, if you don't want to add extra loops, we can just subdivide this here, and then also subdivide these two loops, this one here and this here. Now we can join this to this, join this to this, and move this to the top around there, merge this with this, and then move this and merge this to that. So let's see, we need to make sure that this is also merged to that. Good. And so we can also subdivide this, connect this to that, move this like that, join this to this, move this along that vertex. So if we turn on subsurf and smooth shading, you can see that's the knife we're getting. So for the bevel weight, we can select this loop here that goes around like this, and it's also supposed to go around like that. Then Ctrl E, also give that a sharp bevel, and we can have our knife like that. But we need to separate the handle from this metal part, so I think we can add a loop. We can move this loop around there, bevel it. For this step, let's first apply the mirror modifier, just so that we can extrude this to the middle there. Then extrude, Alt S, to scale it along its normals. And we can select this loop, this, Control E, mark bevel, give it a bevel of 1. And I don't know, maybe we can also do that to these inner loops here. Control E, bevel weight 1. And you can reduce the separation between them. So scale them in the X direction like that. And we have our kitchen table. Not a kitchen table, our kitchen knife. Yeah, thank you for everyone liking. Really appreciate it. Let's see. Yeah, we have that knife, and we can just make a duplicates of this. But before we do that, let's unwrap this so that we can texture it. Maybe let's make variations of different knives. So we have this one with a cylindrical handle, and we also have this type here. But let's see, because this is closer to this design, maybe let's go for this as well first. So let's do this, duplicate this, and use this as our background. Let's clear the rotation. Scale this down. Scale it down, and let's see. So the first thing that separates it from this is that this is closer to that, like that. Maybe you can even remove this edge loop. It's almost touching. So that and this handle, this end is also sharp, and slanted like this. Control. To make it slanting, we can use the shortcut Control Shift Alt S. Something like that. We can scale this. So we have our second design. And this shape also is a bit different, so we can turn on proportional editing, connected, and turn off this, I think it's X-ray. Grab these points. Can grab these. Maybe let's just move them without the proportional editing. So this loop here. Let's first remove this loop and see. Maybe not. Also, this here is more curved than for this here. It's not as sharp, so let's turn off this for now and see. We just need to move these vertices around so that they match this. So you just follow the curvature of the knife. Now we can turn on this again. This doesn't need to be sharp, so we need to remove this bevel weight. Control E, bevel weight. Control E, bevel weight. Control E. Control E, bevel weight. Control E. This still has to be sharp, so give it a 1 like that. Maybe we can clear this bevel weight as well. And redistribute these. We can, I don't know. Yeah, I think that's okay. So we have also this slated version here. I think it's a bread knife. So let's duplicate this, scale it down. And for those slats there, let's see, how can we approach that? We need to turn off this boolean, turn on flat shading, And let's create a, a plane here. Rotate it in the X direction, 90 degrees. Let's create a dent structure like that because we're going to be using booleans here. So you can merge this at the center like that, and subdivide this, and then connect this with this J, and then Control Shift B to bevel that vertex. Maybe, and we can delete these two and just flip these around. So this will be the profile for our dent. And we can extrude it out like that. Scale it down. Drop it around there. So these dents, I think, start from around here. Now we can select this, add a boolean. Make sure it's the first thing above everything else. We can select this, turn from intersect to difference. And to see what we are doing, we can go to the object properties of this and turn on wireframe. You can see we have our first dent there. Maybe that's a lot of resolution, so we can remove some of these edge loops. So delete that loop so that we have a dent like that. Now we just need an array to have as many dents as we want, but the problem is that now these are going in a straight line. So what we can do is come to this, select this loop here, shift, let's just select the loop from here. Let's zoom in from here to here, which will be the length of our dents. Shift D to separate it, to separate that loop like that, and then P to separate loose parts so that we have this as a separate object. And now when we hit Ctrl C or Alt C, we can change this into a curved object. You see we have that curve. And now we can go to this object, just first hide the knife so that we can see this correctly. We can come in and add a curve modifier and select this as our curve object. Now you can just move this closer to this so that it follows the profile. It follows our knife edge. So now we can just increase the number of dents to as long as we want. And let's move it in the X direction like that. So you can also use this to change the profile you want. So you can have them really sharp, or you can have them just a bit dented like that. I think that is okay for me. And if you want to scale these down, these dents to be smaller, you just scale these down. And I increase the number of dents like that. We can move this in the X direction, so to around there. Increase the number of dents again like that. Before we apply the modifier, let's add a loop here. And now we can apply the boolean modifier. Now We can hide this and our edge, and we will have our dents like that. So let's go to edit mode. You can see we have that like that. So if you don't want to have endgons like this, where is that face now? How can I select this face? Maybe let's apply the mirror, add the mirror modifier again. Let me isolate this. Let me add the mirror modifier again, so that we only have to deal with one side of these. I'll select this side, maybe grow the selection. Now I can deselect this other side. All the loops on this other side need to be deselected, like that. And try deselecting like this. Delete those faces, and then I select. I can see it's quite a lot of work. Select these. You know what? It's a lot of work for me, so, but if you want to turn this into triangles, instead of using an endgon like this, you just select the endgon and then hit Ctrl T to convert them into triangles like that. You see? Then you can also do it on here. Ctrl T, Ctrl T, Ctrl T for this. Ctrl T for that, Ctrl T for that, and that. So obviously you're going to have some issues with the booleans, sorry, with the subsurf modifier. So let's first undo this and see how we can handle this. Okay, it's not working anymore. Let's see. If we turned on subsurf, this is how the mesh looks. So we just, if we subdivide this a few times like this, then connected this to this. So there's a few things you can do to improve on this model. Let's see. You would need, I think we used a lot of resolution here, so that's why we're having that problem. So let's delete this and repeat it without using a profile that has less resolution. So we come to this profile and let's edit it a bit to remove some of that resolution. And dissolve edge, so that we only have those like that, dents that look like that. And now we can select this, turn off subsurf, turn off, and add a boolean modifier. Make sure it's at the top, and we can select this as our profile. Turn the operation to difference. We can move this to something like that. So let's see if we turn on this. We still have that issue, but I think it's not as much as before. So we can apply the boolean and hide our dents. And let's try adding back this here. So we would have that. So we just need to improve on this now. You know what? I think before we apply the booleans, let's first make sure to mirror this knife here. So let's select these sides, delete vertices, select this loop and this one here and this, delete vertices. You can also select this loop here and this here, delete vertices. And now I think this is separate from the entire mesh, so we can delete that separately. And yeah, I think we can now add the mirror modifier. In the Z direction. Let's move this above to the top. Okay, only in the Z direction, so something like this. We have our boolean. We still have the boolean activated. But now since we have the mirror modifier, let's unhide our profile, because I see we are having some issues here. So we can come in to the curve and pull that out, or just pull the mesh itself, the profile itself, down a bit. Do something like that, and we can apply the boolean. So if we turn off the mirror modifier, You can see now we only have to work on one side, and the other side will be done by the mirror modifier. So if we turn on these, we can start handling the issues we're seeing here. So if we, to remove this, we can join this to this, hit J, and to remove this, we can subdivide this, add a loop that joins from there to there, and this to that, and this to this, and we don't have that anymore. Can also add we can connect this to that, and maybe subdivide this, join this to this, and join this to that. And then we can also connect this to this. See, it's getting better and better. We just need to clear up these other sides. So maybe join this to this to that. So we are remaining with this here. So what about if we join this to that? It goes away. And here we can, let's see if we join this to this. That goes away. Join this to this, and we are good to go. Maybe just around here we still have some issues that were brought about by that. So we just need to clear them like that. Maybe merge this to this. And we can dissolve that edge, connect this to that, this to that, this to that, and we have our slated knife. So we need to make these sharp, so we can select that up to that. Okay, so this up to that. You just need to select the outer edge of the slits and turn them into sharp. Give them a bevel so that they look sharper. So Ctrl E, mark, give it a seam weight, a bevel weight. And, let's also remove this. This doesn't have to have any bevel weight to it. So now let's turn on the mirror modifier again. And we have that. So also, for some reason, when you apply the Boolean modifier, it kind of removes the bevel weights you had before. So make sure to add them back when that happens. So we also need this loop here to be sharp. So we give it a bevel weight, Ctrl E, bevel 1. Also, this here should have, let's join this to this, and maybe subdivide this, join this to this, and so we get that sort of curve. and select this. Select that curve, but not this part here, and give it a bevel weight as well. I see. Just need to push this vertex around here. Maybe push this as well. Let's see what are we doing. Subdivide this, join this to that. Join this to this. This to that. And let's clean this mess up a bit. Can also add a loop here and join this to this, and join this to that. We don't need this, so join that to that, and this to that, so that we kind of have a loop that goes all the way from here to here. So move this to around there. Make sure this is also given a bevel weight. And we just need a loop here. Join this to this. So, booleans are very helpful, but sometimes they mess up your topology. So you need to be aware of that and be prepared to handle it. So you can fix this like that. See, that's what we have. So we don't need these tents anymore, so we can just move them to another layer and see what we have. So we have 3 knives like that. I don't know. Let's just use this handle type. You can easily create this. So, and every set has the same handle. So there is no need to create other designs. But let's see what else can we do. This seems to have scissors in them. No, I won't do the scissors. Let's just make this thing here that the knives go in. But I liked this design. Where is it? Which design? This design better. So I'm thinking maybe we should go for this design instead, for the wooden thingy. So let's drop that. Turn off this. So it seems we didn't drop the image there. So let's try again. You can just look at it here in the reference images. There's no need to have it as a background image here. So for this, we have this box. Like that. Think is rotated at an angle like that. Let's give it a bevel. Make sure we scale it, apply the scale and rotation. No. Apply the scale just. Let's increase the resolution to 2. So for this part here, we just need to duplicate this, clear the rotation, rotate it 90 degrees. Go to edit mode. Let's pull this down just like that, but this needs to be smaller like so, but on the same level as this here. So it needs to be around there. This also needs to be extended all the way like that. And now we can select this, go to booleans, select these here, and change this to union so that we have that. And then how is this going to be? Okay, so then let's add another cube, scale it in the Y direction to the level of this cube here. So we have something like that, and then select this, go to edit mode. Let's select this face here and pull it back a bit. I think to our, I'm not sure which size, to around here. I think to around there. Maybe we can move this plane to around here, and select this and give it a boolean and select the plane, the cube, and turn it into difference. So we have, if we hide this and hide the cube, we get this. Now we just need to apply the boolean. What did we apply? We need to apply the boolean. So we have something like that. Now if you want, you can connect these faces so that you don't have any guns in your work. Add a loop there, add a loop there, join this to that, join that to that. Same here, we can add a loop there, select that, join that to that, maybe also add a loop there, join that to that. Do it to this side as well, so join this to this, join this to this, join this to this, and let's join this to this. We need this to be joined to this, and we don't need what can merge this. Where does this go? Okay, we don't need this edge loop. And we can merge this face to that. So now we can let's see how they did this. Now we can arrange these knives. Rotate this 180 degrees. Same with this, rotate 180 degrees. And I think before we do anything, we can UV unwrap these knives. So we can select that loop, Ctrl E, maxim, and I select this handle. Where the handle starts, I think it's around here. Ctrl E, maxim. Now if we change this to UV, unwrap, we have our handle like that. And so we also, at the back here, we can also set a seam for this. Ctrl E, maxim, unwrap. So we have that, and we can remove this seam here up to there, up to Ctrl E, clear seam, unwrap, and we have that. Let's make sure that this is separate. Yeah, it is. We should do the same for these other knives. Since this already has a mirror modifier, we just need to add a loop there. Ctrl E, maxim. Oh no. Control, let's clear that, maxim. These also have to be sharp, so Ctrl E, bevel weight, to give them a bevel weight. And we also need to separate that from the handle, so maxim there. So unwrap, and we have that. Same for this. Just add a loop that goes all the way to bisect that mesh, then maxim, then let's separate out the handle. The handles like that, so the hand and like that. So unwrap, and we have that. So for this here, before we add anything, before we unwrap this, let's add those holes for these knives. So let's rotate this. So it would go in like that. Then we'll have a second knife that goes in around there. We get a third knife, goes in like that. I'm not sure how many knives we should add here, but let's do Alt D to duplicate as instances so that any edits we make to the first one are applied to the duplicates we have made. Alt D like that. So we have that. Now we just need to add cuts for those places there. So let's do this. Rotate this so that it aligns to the angle like that. So let's select this, add a boolean, then select this here for the boolean and change the intersect to difference. And we can select this object, go to its object data and turn it into a wire so that we can see the cuts we are making. Now we can go to edit mode, duplicate this along the Y direction. And we just need to move these. Let's turn from global to local so that we can move these easily. I don't think the hose needs to be different sizes, because you can see they're all the same sizes here. It's the knives that are different sizes. So Shift D. And we can apply the bevel modifier here, the boolean modifier here to have, and we can hide this here to have that. So now we can come in, we don't need these faces here, so we can delete them. And we can UV unwrap this, so we can do, let's see, add a loop there, add a loop there, there and there, and there, I think. And I think we can also add I don't know. Let's first separate this object here. You can mark these as seams and UV unwrap. Just need to select those edges. Ctrl E, maxing, unwrap again. I don't know, maybe we can separate this front side, this here, Ctrl E maxim, unwrap, and maybe separate it here as well, but not here. Ctrl E, clear seam, maxim, 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 clear. Maxim there, maxim, maxim here, and maxim here, and wrap. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on here, so let's see. Okay. I think we have a lot of triangles here, so we can add a loop there, doing that to that, add another loop here, doing that to that. Dissolve this. And wrap again. I think we need to separate this face here entirely. Last. And we can just join these to reduce the size of this n-gon here, because I think it's causing some problem. So unwrap, and I don't like the way it's shaped in the UVs. So let's see. Join this to that. And this to that, this to that, this to that, this to that, merge this to that, unwrap again. Yeah, and I think now it looks much better. Way much better. So let's see. Let's add a material for this. Give it a new texture, an image texture, and select this, go to textured mode here so that we can look at the UVs. Think they are clean enough. What about this here? Think we might also need to separate this side here. Control E, maxim. Yeah, now there is not that much stretching anymore. Yes, so let's also give the same material to this. Control link materials, and let's go to let's unhide this textured. This should also have the same material. Yeah, so everything is UV unwrapped now. Let's find some textures to work with. So you can find some free textures here from CC, some PBR textures from cctextures.com. So let's select a brushed metal here. Let's get this and maybe try this as well. And let's go back to home. See if we can find other materials. Let's we have you want wood. Let me download a 4K. I think this is a good texture here. Download 4K. Let's go to this as well, download 4K. And as that is downloading, we can go to Photoshop and start working on some of the imprints we see on these knives. So there is a logo and there is some kind of wording there. I think it's stainless something. So just go to this one of the knives, UVs. I don't really have to do that. I just need to create a texture so we can do some custom logo design here. Let's use a cut. Select the cut again. I'll just duplicate it again. No. Can just change this to white and give it a stroke. And I can select the inside part. And give this a mask so that we are left with only the stroke. And now I can type in whatever wording I want. So let's reduce the size of this down. Maybe. So we're just doing some fancy stuff here. It's not that complicated, but I think it will make the knife look better. So give this a black. Now we can write fancy knife thingy. So let's also find some fancy font for our fancy knife. And then we can use a different font for here. Fancy knife kitchen ware for fancy blender people. Let's reduce the font here. And let's add a disclaimer here. Not meant for cutting cuts. No cuts. Let's find the caution sign. It's not there. And let's just make it also so we can get a rounded cube here. Rounded square. Delete these vertices. These points, not vertices. That was not a square, so let's create a square again. Rotate it 45 degrees. I can delete these extra points. Maybe move these down like this. And make sure I close this part here. And we can type in the is it exclamation mark? I think it's that. Now we can, I think, convert that into shape. Can use it to deselect, to make a mask. Let me see what I'm doing here, because you can, let's see, give this the same the same stroke, and use that selection to cut out a mask so that we only remain with a stroke, and have the exclamation mark inside there. I'll just convert this into a smart object and scale it down a bit like that. So we have our nice caution there. You know, you never know what people use their knives for. They might see the cut logo there and think it's meant for cutting cuts. So let's make sure we let them know they shouldn't be doing that. So we have our fancy disclaimer there. Now we can just crop it like that. Make sure we save it as a PNG with transparency. And there is our project. So knife, we can textures. Now we can use this anywhere. So for this we can let's see how can we do this. Let's import that texture. CG Trader kitchen knife, and can drop it there. That's our fancy texture. Now, so we can change this to 3D and change this to the node editor. Change this to material, and you can change this image to our fancy logo. So, but right now it's a mess. Let's make sure that we're only working on the wooden thing. Wooden. I'll just use the mapping here to move this around where I want it. So I'll use the principal shader here, principal shader with a color mix RGB. We can connect these to the factor so that we have two colors to work with here. So we can change the color of the logo or change the wooden thing. Now make sure this is in the UVs, and we can adjust the position. Or to make it easier, because we're not going to be using the UVs for anything else, we can just come in just create a new set of UVs. Yes. Get the texture here. Go to the object data, and under UVs, create a new map and unwrap again. And now we can move this. I don't know which side is it. We can move this face here. We can scale maybe everything around like that. And make sure that the logo is centered in the position we want it to be. So you can also just rotate this so that it's in, we just move these pieces together. So let's see. Control N. Control MY. And let's make sure that then in here you can change the repeat to extended, and if we go to rendered mode, okay, let's see what's going on here. Make sure that you change the input to UV and select the second UV map as our texture map. Make sure that it's not the color input, but the alpha input. Now you can see that our logo is coming up. Let's just change the color here. So this is going to be our wood. So this can be black or white. Let's see if it's white. How does it come up? So you see how our logo is going to come up. So I think it's flipped in the wrong direction here. So we can come to edit mode. For this object, make sure we select this face. Let's turn on textured, and we can flip this in the X direction so that it's also facing the right direction. And Yeah, so the downloads have completed. So let's find these textures. So I'll just select them and drop them in my textures folder. So let me extract files, cancel, wood. Okay, let me sort by date, metal, extract, metal, extract, and then wood, extract. And let's thank you, Con. God, your names are very hard. Con Kamis? I don't know. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. Yeah, thank you for appreciating. Really appreciate it too. And thank you for coming around. So let's get this texture up here. So let's add. So we can just duplicate this here and use it as the second node, because you can see in the render here, the white color here, or the down color here, color 2, is the color for our logo, and this other color is the color influencing the entire wooden thing. So we can just use the wooden texture for this node here. Let's find that texture. So we have wood something. Let's see. I think that looks good, though it's not the look we are going for. So we can duplicate this, fit this. Let's see what maps do we have. We have displacement, roughness. So we can connect this to the roughness, and Shift D, use this for the displacement, and Shift D, add a vector normal map, connect the color to the color here, and connect this normal to the normal there, and let's change this to normal. So let's set up some HDRI image for the lighting. So environment, and then we can go to HDRI and find, let's use this image here. We can bring these two down a bit, scale them down, bring them. Let's remove this background image. Let's increase let's change this to filmic. You can maybe add a lamp, an area lamp. Let's try 500. Maybe also let's add something for the flow there as a plane. So I would prefer the texture not to be as dark as we see it here. But let's first work on the knives now. They need a different material, so just remove the wooden material, then add new texture. So I will change this to principal shader and set. So we are basically working on the handle, I guess. So we can give it a color. Let's also change the viewport color setting. And also this. I think that is enough for this here. So that was for the handle, and we can select that. Let's separate this. So that's the handle, I guess. No, it starts from there. So everything else can be something different. So that is the handle. I'll call this handle. Let's add a new material. You can start from the handle, but let's so this is the metal. You can give it a different color. Viewport color. Make sure that it's assigned to that part. So it's also the part for this end you see here. So we can also select that. Assign that as well. And we can also give it a new UV. I don't know if we should use new UVs here. So let's just unwrap this. Unwrap and scale it in the Y direction. Scale it up a bit. So this will also take on the same UVs, the same logo. As our other mesh. So we just need the same setup. So instead of doing everything from scratch, I would just copy this node setup, come to this and paste it there. Okay. It seems I did not copy anything. Copy, paste. And then I just need to feed this into the color node of the principal shader. So if I go to material, I don't need this to be an image. So we don't have that. And so we have our knife, we have our logo there, but it's flipped in the wrong direction. So let's flip this. Control M, Y, and that's good. So if we go to material mode, rendered mode, you can see where the knife is. We just need this to be white. And this should be metallic with very little roughness, and with anisotropic materials. See, we have our knife. So this thing can be black. Like that. If you want, you can also, I think, use it in a displacement modifier. So let's see if we turn this back to white. Does it come up? It's about... Yeah, I think it is there, but not... Yeah, it is there. Maybe we just need to invert this. So let's add an invert node. But we can give this a color as well, so something like that. So that's one of our knives. We just need to duplicate the same material for this. So this is going to be the handle. Starts with this is invert, and everything else is supposed to be metal. So assign, go to rendered mode. We have that. Now we just need to correct these UVs. So go to material mode. Could be like that, rendered, and we have that. Let's do the same thing for the last knife. Remember, these down ones were instances, so they just get the same material as the first one, as their original copies. So we need metal, and then this should be metal, and then we have handle. So our handle is this here. So assign that, and everything else is metal. Now we just need to unwrap this. Let's go to material, scale this up. We have that. So if we go to rendered mode, you can see we have our knives. And remember, this is a slated knife, so don't forget about that detail. So and I guess we can also use, so Control L, unwrap that, go to material, can also have this logo at the back like you see here. Control M, Control M, X, something like that. Now if we render, if we go to rendered material mode, let's see if I can find a lighter material, a lighter wood like we see here. So let's go to home. Wood. I think let's try this. As we are downloading that, let's improve on the on the lighting a bit. So let's set this to 2. And let's preview this. See? Let's try a different HDRI image. Let's try this and see. I think it's much. It gives us more light. Now we can just make a few copies of these, just to show them off there. Out the Hello, Sebastian. How are you? Man, no. The resolution of my PC is 1080 by 1280. So I'm using 2 screens. Let's see. Right now the resolution. So where do I even change this? Yeah, it's 1080 by 1280 by 1080. But no, I'm not trying to kill anyone with this. Actually, I added a caution here, not made for cutting cuts, in case, because we are using a logo that may imply that, and you never know what people use these things for, so you need to be precautious about that. So just rotate this. Let's change the resolution here, maybe 1080 by 1080, so that we have everything in frame. I really want to show off these slates because they took us some time to work on. So let's make a copy of these. Make it even larger. Let's turn on this rotation gizmo, turn to global, so that we can move these better, much better. Let's see. This is getting out in the way of our logo, so let's remove that. And this is taking quite some time. Let's see if I can find some textures that I have downloaded or used before. Okay, the one with PBR. So let's wait for this to download, and let's see what we can improve on this. I would like to give it a render right now to see how it would look, or to show you how it would look, but most times when I do that, my stream just shuts off for some reason. I don't know, maybe my PC can handle both at the same time. Let's look at different angles here. Why is this taking too long? Hope Fortnite is not updating. Okay, it's not. Gah. 37 MBs. And by the way, you can see it's repeating here, but when we go to rendered mode, it's not, because in the image texture here, I changed it from repeat to extend, and that stops it from repeating. So I think this is done, so we can get that knife set textures. Let's start there. Extract files. And, let's look at these. So we need to change the diffuse to the new texture. So it's not that. Wood 5. So this we need to change the roughness to the new roughness. Okay, this is the roughness. Then the normal map, the new normal map. And the new displacement, the new displacement. displacement like that. Okay, so we also, because let's see. Okay, I thought this mapping was for the textures, so we don't have to apply it to other to the images we're using. We can change this from color data to non-color data, but this should be color data. This should not be non-color data. Now let's give it a render here. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you for being around. I really appreciate you, and yeah, thank you. See you in the next live stream. I will make some renders for this, and I will post them up for you to. I will add links in the description of this video. Thank you.